How are you guys doing? Today is Monday, February 21st, 2022. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review yesterday's Elite matchups and performances that took place on Sunday, February 20th, 2022. Taking a look at where we are today as we take a step back, we are in the second half of the college basketball and the professional basketball seasons as the college basketball bracket is underway at the moment is currently being made. Not to mention that in the NBA, we just got through the All-Star game, so we are now entering the second half of the NBA season. Not to mention that we're also in the second half of the soccer season as well, because we're actually in the 2022 year. And yesterday was the final day of the 2022 Winter Olympics that took place in Beijing. So with that said, jumping from sport to sport, I'm going to start with college basketball. Starting with the fifth-ranked team in the nation, the Purdue Boilermakers hosted the unranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights in Indiana. Purdue would beat Rutgers 84-72. They won by 12 after outscoring the Scarlet Knights by 9 in the first half. On the winning end of this matchup, the fifth-ranked Boilermakers were led in scoring by their starting guard, Jaden Ivey. Ivey finished with 25 points in 39 minutes. He shot 5 for 11 from the field and 15 for 18 from the foul line. With this win, the fifth-ranked Boilermakers are 24-4. They are 13-4 in the Big Ten. They are currently holding on to the best record in the conference for the time being. They are one of 4 teams that have 4 losses in their conference. They're one of 3 teams. And with this loss, the unranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights are now 16-10. They are now 10-6 in the Big Ten. Looking at the 8th-ranked team in the nation, the Providence Friars went to Indianapolis to face off against the unranked Butler Bulldogs. Providence beat Butler 71-70 after outscoring the Bulldogs 7-6 in the overtime period. They had to outscore Butler by 13 in the second half to tie the game. On the winning end of this matchup, the 8th-ranked Friars were led in scoring by their starting center, Nate Watson. He finished with 22 points in 35 minutes. He shot 10 for 15 from the field on the night. With this win, the 8th-ranked Providence Friars are 22-3. They are now 12-2 in the Big East. They have the best record in the conference so far. They are the only team that has less than 3 losses in the Big East as of right now. With this loss, the unranked Butler Bulldogs are now 13-15. They are now 6-11 in the Big East. That is the 3rd worst record in the conference right now. Looking at the 14th ranked team in the nation, the Houston Cougars would go to Wichita, Kansas, and face off against the unranked Wichita State Shockers. Houston would beat Wichita State 76-74 in 2 overtimes. They outscored Wichita State 20-18 in those combined overtime periods. On the winning end of this matchup, the 14th ranked Houston Cougars were led in scoring by their starting center, Josh Carlton. He finished with 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in 39 minutes. He shot 9 for 14 from the field. He made his only 3-pointer of the day, and he shot 4 for 5 from the foul line. With this win, the 14th ranked Houston Cougars are 22-4. They are now 11-2 in the American Athletic Conference. They have the best record in the conference as they are the only team that has less than 3 losses in their division so far. With this loss, the unranked Wichita State Shockers are now 13-11. They are now 4-8 in the conference so far. Now looking at the 15th ranked team in the nation, the Wisconsin Badgers hosted the unranked Michigan Wolverines. Wisconsin beat Michigan 77-63. They won by 14 before Juwan Howard got in a whole situation with the coach for Wisconsin. Wisconsin won this game 77-63 after they outscored Michigan by 14 points in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 15th ranked Wisconsin Badgers were led in scoring by their starting guard, Johnny Davis. He finished with 25 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 3 blocks in 37 minutes. He shot 11 for 17 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the 15th ranked Wisconsin Badgers are now 21-5. They are now 12-4 in the Big Ten. They are tied with Illinois for the second best record in the conference, as Wisconsin, Illinois, and Purdue are the 3 teams in the Big Ten that have 4 losses in conference play so far. With this loss, the unranked Michigan Wolverines are now 14-11. They are now 8-7 in the Big Ten. Last but not least, looking at the 17th ranked team in the nation, the USC Trojans hosted the unranked Washington State Cougars last night. USC beat Washington State 62-60. They won by 2 after outscoring Washington State by 6 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 17th ranked USC Trojans were led in scoring by their starting guard, Boogie Ellis. Ellis finished with 21 points in 36 minutes. He shot 6 for 10 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and he shot 7 for 8 from the foul line. With this win, the 17th ranked USC Trojans are 23-4. They are now 12-4 in the Pac-12. That is the second best record in their division. The only team they trail is Arizona, who's only lost one game in the Pac-12 so far. With this loss, the unranked Washington State Cougars are now 14-12. They are now 7-8 in the Pac-12 for right now. So that is what the college basketball season is looking like. That's what they're looking like following yesterday's matchups. Looking at the ranked opponents that are going to be playing today, first at 7 o'clock, the 18th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes are going to host unranked Indiana in Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio on FS1. Ohio State enters this matchup with a 9-5 record in the Big Ten. At 9 o'clock, the defending champs, 7th-ranked Baylor Bears, are going to go to Oklahoma State to face off against the unranked Cowboys on ESPN in Gallagher-Iba Arena. Baylor enters this matchup with a 10-4 record in the Big 12. And at the same time, at 9 o'clock, the 13th-ranked UCLA Bruins are going to host the unranked Arizona State Sun Devils on FS1 in Pauley Pavilion. UCLA enters this matchup with an 11-4 record in the conference. Now, taking a look at what happened in the NBA. Yesterday was the All-Star game, and this would be a match between Team Durant and Team LeBron. As the fourth quarter was untimed, Team LeBron would end up beating Team Durant 163-160, as virtually every single quarter was close. The biggest deficit was in the fourth quarter, where Team LeBron outscored Team Durant by 4. On the losing end of this matchup, Team Durant was led in scoring by their elite starting center, Joel Embiid, for the Philadelphia 76ers. He finished with 36 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists in 31 minutes. He would go on to shoot 14 for 20 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. Their elite shooting guard off the bench for the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, finished with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and 5 turnovers, all in 30 minutes. He shot 9 for 18 from the field, and he shot 2 for 9 from 3. Their point guard off the bench, LaMelo Ball, their elite point guard for the Charlotte Hornets and first-time All-Star, finished with 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals in 22 minutes. He shot 7 for 11 from the field, and he would go on to shoot 4 for 8 from 3. Their point guard off the bench for the San Antonio Spurs, DeJounte Murray, would finish with 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 27 minutes. He shot 7 for 11 from the field. He would go on to shoot a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line as well. Their elite starting point guard for the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, finished with 13 points, 2 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals in 19 minutes. He shot 5 for 13 from the field, and he would shoot 3 for 9 from 3. Their shooting guard off the bench for the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine, would finish with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in 11 minutes. He shot 5 for 7 from the field, and he would shoot 2 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting small forward for the Golden State Warriors and former number 1 overall pick out of Kansas, Andrew Wiggins, would finish with 10 points in 15 minutes. He shot 4 for 7 from the field, and he shot 2 for 4 from 3. Their elite center off the bench, Karl Anthony Towns, finished with 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 14 minutes. He shot 4 for 8 from the field and 1 for 4 from 3. Their elite starting small forward for the Boston Celtics out of Duke, Jason Tatum, finished with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in 20 minutes. He would shoot 4 for 10 from the field. Their elite starting center out of France, Rudy Gobert, finished with 6 points and 6 rebounds in 13 minutes as he shot a perfect 3 for 3 from the field. And then their defending champion, all-star small forward, Chris Middleton for the Milwaukee Bucks, finished with 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in 21 minutes. He would go on to shoot 1 for 8 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, Team LeBron would be led in scoring by their goated starting point guard, the NBA All-Star Game MVP for 2022, Stephen Curry. The NBA's all-time leader in three-pointers made would finish the game with 50 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers in 36 minutes. Curry would shoot 17 for 30 from the field, 16 for 27 for 3 on the night. Their elite starting power forward in last year's NBA All-Star Game MVP and NBA Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo would finish with 30 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals in 27 minutes. He shot 15 for 21 from the field. The captain of Team LeBron, their goated starting small forward, LeBron James, the 4-time NBA Finals MVP, would finish with 24 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals in 36 minutes. He shot 11 for 24 from the field, and he shot 2 for 11 from 3 on the night. Their point guard off the bench from the hometown Cavaliers, Darius Garland, would finish with 13 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals in 24 minutes. He shot 5 for 12 from the field, and he would shoot 3 for 7 from 3. Their starting small forward for the Chicago Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, finished with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in 27 minutes. He shot 4 for 8 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from 3. Their starting center, last year's MVP, Nikola Jokic, finished with 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists in 21 minutes. He shot 4 for 5 from the field, and he shot 2 for 3 from 3. Their center off the bench for the Cavaliers, Jared Allen, finished with 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 24 minutes. He shot 5 for 6 from the field on the night. Their elite shooting guard for the Dallas Mavericks off the bench, Luka Doncic, finished with 8 points and 3 assists in 25 minutes. He shot 3 for 6 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3. Their starting shooting guard for the Toronto Raptors, Fred VanVleet, finished with 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists in 9 minutes. He shot 2 for 4 from the field. All 4 of his attempts came from 3. Their elite starting small forward for the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler, would finish with 2 points and 2 steals in 9 minutes as he shot 1 for 2 from the field. With this win, of course, Team LeBron were able to win the money for the charities that they were playing for. And of course, they will get bragging rights as they were able to get this win over Team Durant. The NBA itself will not pick up play until Thursday, February 24th, as it looks as though there are going to be 7 matchups taking place, and the primetime matches are going to be on TNT. So we're going to get through that one day at a time. Taking a look at what's going on in the world of soccer, looking at yesterday's games first. Starting off in the Premier League, Manchester United went to Leeds United and was able to pull off a 4-2 win. Their first goal coming from Harry Maguire gave them their first goal, and then Bruno Fernandes, their elite Portuguese midfielder, would put them up 2-0. In the start of the second, Leeds United would tie the game up at 2 before Fred would get subbed in. He would score in the 70th minute, and Ilanga's 88th minute would put Man U up by 2. With this win, Man U is sitting 4th in the Premier League as they sit 4 points behind third place Chelsea. At the moment, they are sitting 4 points ahead of 5th place West Ham, as they now have a full game of separation between them and falling out of the Champions League. Moving up the continent, going from the west, jumping into La Liga, the second best team in Spain, Sevilla would end up drawing with Espanyol 1-1. Sevilla's lone goal would come from Rafa Mir in the 36th minute before Koundé's 76th minute red card would eventually get him pulled. With this draw, Sevilla is still sitting second in La Liga. They sit 6 points behind first place Real Madrid. Barcelona was able to beat Valencia 4-1 as it would get a hat trick from its forward Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Frankie de Jong would score Barca's second goal of the day. With this win, Barca now sits 4th as they sit about even with Atletico Madrid with 1 less game played than Atletico Madrid. They also sit 4 points below third place Real Betis after Betis was able to beat Mallorca 2-1. The big difference in this matchup would be their 83rd minute penalty from Willian Jose. That would give them the lead, and now Real Betis is sitting pretty comfortably in La Liga at the moment. Just skipping past the French Ligue 1 for a second, or just looking through the French Ligue 1 for right now, the third place team Nice was able to beat Angers 1-0 to keep its spot along the top. And Marseille, who sits second in Ligue 1, would lose to Clermont Foot 2-0. They still sit 1 point ahead of third place Nice, and they sit 13 points below first place PSG. So, of course, with that loss, that creates a lot of separation in the table. As we move a little bit east, jumping to Italy, the reigning Serie A champs, Inter Milan, would end up losing to Sassuolo 2-0. With this loss, they are now sitting 2 points below first place Inter Milan with one less game played. Or they have 2 less points than AC Milan, but they have 1 less game played, so they have the opportunity to pass Milan with a win in their next matchup, as those games are incredibly close. And Atalanta, sitting 5th in Italy, would end up losing to Fiorentina 1-0. As Piatek's 56-minute goal would be what they needed. Lazio, holding that 6th spot, would end up drawing with Udinese. They are now sitting 1 point ahead of 7th place Fiorentina, and they sit 1 point behind 5th place Atalanta, just to give you a sense of how close they are. Jumping into Germany, of course, the reigning Bundesliga champs Bayern Munich were able to beat Greuther Fürth after Fürth scored the lone goal of the first half. Bayern would score 4 goals in the second half, one of them being a Fürth own goal. They would get 2 goals from their goated Polish striker Robert Lewandowski, and they would get another goal from their Cameroonian backup striker Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. With this win, Bayern Munich is sitting on top of the Bundesliga right now. They sit 5 points ahead of second place 6 points ahead of second place Dortmund. Speaking of Dortmund was able to beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 6-0. They would get a brace from Marco Reus. There was goals from Daniel Malin and Matthäus Wolf. They would get a goal from their elite young forward Yusuf Moukoko. And then they would see a goal from Emre Can in the 90th minute. With this 6-goal win, like I said, they sit 6 points behind first place Bayern, and they sit 8 points ahead of third place Leverkusen, as they are comfortably sitting with that second spot. And then taking a look at what soccer is looking like after yesterday, not to mention Leipzig was able to pull off a big win as they sit 4th in Bundesliga for right now. But looking into what's going on with soccer today, the only big matchup that's going to be taking place today will be in Italy. At 1 o'clock, Cagliari is going to host Napoli. Napoli is going to enter this matchup with the 3rd best record in Italy. They sit 3 points behind first place Inter Milan. A win here could temporarily see them jump Inter and possibly take over the top spot in Italy just for the day. But that is everything I have for you as it comes to soccer. And last but not least, taking you to the last day of the Olympics. This is, of course, the 19th day of the Olympics being held. This is also the 16th day of the medals being awarded, as the final events have been played in the next Olympic events that will be competed. Or I guess with the next Olympics, we will see competition in the winter will be in 2026. Taking a look at alpine skiing first, the gold medal for the mixed team parallel final will go to Austria. Germany would take home the silver, as Norway would take home the bronze. In the bobsleigh and the 4-man event, the gold medal was given to Francesco Friedrich of Germany. Germany would take home the silver, as Canada would take home the bronze. In cross-country skiing, in the women's 30-kilometer mass start free, the gold medal will go to Teresa Johaug of Norway. The United States would take home the silver, as Finland would take home the bronze. In the women's gold medal game of curling, the gold medal was won by Great Britain, as Japan would take home the silver. In ice hockey, in the men's gold medal game, the gold medal would be awarded to Finland, as Russian Olympic Committee would be the team that would fall second, as they picked up the silver. And those are the last and final events as we get to the final Beijing standing. And I'm going to do another episode on this right after. Norway would finish the games with the most gold medals won by a single country in Olympic Games history, in the Winter Olympic Games, as they won 16 medals. They would go on to lead the pack in total medals, as they had 37. Germany would finish second in total gold medals as they had 12. The People's Republic of China would finish third as they are the host country. They finished with 9. The United States, Sweden, and Netherlands all tied for fourth in gold medals as they all had 8. Austria and Switzerland would tie for 7th in gold medals as they had 7. The Russian Olympic Committee would finish 9th in gold medals as they finished second in total medals. They had 6 gold medals, and France would be the 10th nation that had at least 5 as they finished with 5 gold medals on the year. Taking a look at the teams that finished with double-digit silver medals, the Russian Olympic Committee had the most silver medals as they had 12, and Germany and the United States would tie for the second most amount of silver medals as they both had 10. Looking at the nations that led the way in bronze medals, the Russian Olympic Committee and Canada would tie for the most bronze medals as they both had 14. And Norway would have the third most amount of bronze medals as they would have 13. Looking at the nations that led the entire way with medals, there were exactly 13 nations that won a double-digit amount of medals. The top 5 would consist of nations that had at least 25 medals. Norway had the most, they had 37. The Russian Olympic Committee would finish with 32 as they had 6 gold medals, 12 silvers, and 14 bronzes. Norway, of course, sitting at the top with 16 golds, 8 silvers, and 13 bronzes. Germany would finish third in total medals as they had 12 golds, 10 silvers, and 5 bronzes. Canada would finish 4th in total medals as they had 4 gold medals, 8 silver medals, and 14 bronze medals. And the United States would finish 5th in the 2022 Olympics in total medals won, as they won 8 gold medals, 10 silver medals, and 7 bronzes. Right now, those are all of the events that have been played. And with that said, of course, I will come back in 2026 as the 2026 Olympics are going to be held in Milan, which is in Italy. And of course, I can't wait until we get to what will be the 25th Winter Olympic Games. But with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 22 minutes of this piece. Once all of today's exhibitions, matchups, and events are through, I'm going to come back tomorrow on Tuesday, February 22nd, as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. Thanks for listening. Once again, I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with another episode tomorrow as we navigate through February one day at a time. Thanks for listening. I hope all is well. Thanks for listening to my piece, and peace out. I'll catch you with more tomorrow.